Good evening, I'm Lindsay Eaton in for Tanae Howard. We begin with breaking news tonight on NewsPoint. Right now, police are searching for a missing 33-year-old woman in Columbus. Investigators say Jacqueline Watts' vehicle was found near a wooded area with its flashers on, but she was nowhere to be found. Let's go straight to Columbus, where Fox 59's Haley Bull joins us now with the latest. Haley.
I'm at Riverside in Washington, where you can see police have blocked off the road as they search for Watts. Right now, they're using canines and a helicopter to comb through this wooded area. Police say her vehicle was found about 150 yards down the street after they responded to a call for a suspicious vehicle. A short time later, Watts' family reported her missing. Police say they told them she should have been on her way home to Indianapolis, but hadn't arrived. She has family in the Columbus area. She's 5'5", 110 pounds. She has brown eyes and blonde hair. She was last seen wearing black stretch pants and a gray shirt.
Well, it's challenging this time of night. It doesn't make it more difficult. However, it's something that, our officers are trained. We have, like I said, a number of resources here.
Police are asking the public to stay away from the area right now, but are asking anyone who has information or may have seen something that just doesn't seem right to give them a call. That number is going to be 812-379-1689. In Columbus, Haley Bull, Fox 59 News.
Thanks, Haley. As police continue the hunt for the killer of two Delphi girls, their community is continuing to stand together in honor of their memories. Tomorrow, a huge fundraiser is happening nearby Lafayette. Organizers say they could see anywhere from 600 to more than 1,000 people show up. Tonight, there was a smaller fundraiser in preparation for tomorrow's big event. Organizers say it's something they can do to honor the girls' spirits and hopefully comfort their families.
I know that whatever we do isn't going to help their pain, but if they know that we're here for them and that we care, and we all care, then maybe they can take a little piece from that.
Now that fundraiser is happening tomorrow at the Moose Family Center starting at 10 o'clock in the morning. You can find all the information over on our website. Meanwhile, state police say this week alone they saw an average of 500 tips per day. The reward money has now reached $218,000. Investigators are encouraging anyone who knows anything to contact that tip line. Once again, here's that number for you. It's 844-459-5786. You can also email the address you see right there on your screen. And don't forget, you can find all of that information plus more on this investigation right now at fox59.com. A death investigation in Tippecanoe County after a driver spots a body in the median of I-65. The man was found just south of Lafayette. Police think he was a victim of a hit-and-run crash. They have not yet identified him. If you know anything about this, call the Indiana State Police. A serious case of domestic violence in Columbus. A man is facing domestic battery charges for attacking his wife with a screwdriver. Police say Elizar Martinez Gonzalez stabbed the woman multiple times. A child was at that home when it happened. He faces domestic battery charges with a weapon and in the presence of a minor. A violent home invasion leaves 3 people hurt, including a 16-year-old boy. Investigators believe this may not be the first crime for these 3 thieves. Police say that same night there was another robbery at a home not too far away.
It's surprising to me because it's a pretty good neighborhood, and it's shocking.
Just after midnight on Thursday, police got a 911 call from a home in this subdivision on the city's southeast side. 3 armed men had busted into a home.
That's scary. Especially I have a young kid.
Investigators say 3 people, 2 women and a 16-year-old boy, were home during the break-in. All 3 were hurt and taken to the hospital. The 3 intruders took things from the home and took off before police got there.
It almost seems like it'd be the type of people who are trying to get money to sell to get other things.
Janelle McAdams tells us thieves broke into her car recently, and it seems more crimes have been happening around the Franklin Gardens neighborhood.
And that's why we have the security cameras, and hopefully if they were to, sadly enough, come here, we would have them on camera. So it might be easier to catch.
According to the crime mapping tool safetown.org, since Wednesday, there have been 14 crimes reported within 3 miles from the home where this violent robbery happened.
Detectives always check the surrounding areas to see if there are similar occurrences that happened within a specific amount of time to see if it could be related.
Earlier in the night, robbers hit another nearby home. Police are investigating that it could be the same group of thieves making their rounds.
If anybody hears something suspicious, if they wake up in the middle of the night, they hear something at the door, don't call a parent, don't call a loved one, call 911 immediately so police can come out there and investigate it.
Now, thankfully, none of the 3 victims had life-threatening injuries. We did stop by the home and they decided they did not want to do an interview with us. Now, as always, if you know anything that can help detectives solve this case, give Crime Stoppers a call. Federal prosecutors bust a Mexican drug cartel accused of moving large amounts of meth and cocaine through Hendricks County. Prosecutors say 120 pounds of meth and more than 50 kilos of cocaine were transported to homes and apartments in Avon. The drug ring operated for more than a year before being busted last year. 17 suspects are facing charges in federal court. Guilty on 6 counts of neglect. That's the verdict handed down today on the aunt of a mentally handicapped teenager who weighed less than 50 pounds when authorities found her. Crystal Sells was one of 3 family members convicted in this case. Grandparents Joetta and Steve Sells are already serving their 24-year prison terms. Crystal Sells will be sentenced later this month. A developing story in Muncie. Millions of dollars meant for school repairs are now gone. The school district superintendent says the district took out a bond in 2014 and that money was earmarked for school repairs. $9.3 million was budgeted to fix the aging schools, but as it turns out, that money is not actually available. The funds were used elsewhere over the years.
Even though that money is, the account shows that there's still $9.3 million there, the problem is that's offsetting huge negatives in other funds.
The district is considering consolidating schools, and over the last few weeks, proposals to cut teacher pay and salaries have been met with protests from teachers and community members. Now, we'll of course keep you updated on what the district ends up doing. Mayor Joe Hogsett will hop on a bike and join dozens of kids and their families on a special ride downtown. The first ever YMCA citywide cyclothon will take place at all 12 YMCA locations here in central Indiana. The event will help raise money to support YMCA programs and day camps for kids who would otherwise not be able to afford them. The cyclothon kicks off tomorrow morning at 1:30 in the afternoon. Vice President Mike Pence speaking out tonight after an investigation revealed he used a private email account to discuss state matters as governor of Indiana. The vice president says his email practices followed all of Indiana's laws. But questions are being raised about cybersecurity after the Indy Stars investigation found vital communications about the state's security may have been hacked.
This kind of highlights a bigger problem here on the part of a lot of public officials and managers, frankly, of a lack of cyber hygiene.
Some are questioning Pence's actions after his own criticism against Hillary Clinton and her use of a private server as Secretary of State. But the vice president says the 2 incidents are not at all the same. A judge is allowing the trial of a Muncie city official to be pushed back to a later date. Craig Nichols will now go to trial in August instead of next month. Nichols is accused of stealing hundreds of thousands of dollars in taxpayer money. Court documents say his construction companies billed the city for work that never happened or was done at inflated prices.
Well, the weekend arrives with one of the coldest afternoons in over 3 weeks. The skies were filled with sunshine, but the temperatures were cold. Now we're watching clouds begin to move in from the north and west. A warm front is approaching, and the temperatures are going to begin to rise. As that warm front nears, the chances for snow will increase. It looks like there's some out to our northwest. It's not reaching the ground, and this really is going to be a brief period of snow early tomorrow morning. It may be just enough to make the roads a little slippery for a few hours before the sunshine returns and the temperatures start to warm. Upper 20s, lower 30s, numbers that are not going to move too much more overnight as the system comes in from the northwest. More bark than bite right now. In fact, very little to any of the snow is reaching in parts of Illinois. There's the snows in Wisconsin, which will dive southeast later tonight. As the clouds increase, the temperatures and the drop of them will start to slow down and begin to rise as the clouds thicken up. It's just a quick shot shot of snow. And after a warm front sweeps the state, the weekend will turn milder. We'll end up with 60-degree warmth here by Sunday afternoon. It's calm and 32 at this hour. The dew point, very important in terms of the forecast because it's so low. The air is very, very dry. Initially, some of this moisture will evaporate before it really starts to reach the ground. That doesn't happen for several more hours. It's 30 in Lafayette, not much wind out there, so not much of a wind chill to contend with. But as the clouds thicken up, the chance for snow will increase as we move through the overnight hours. This little narrow band of snow will be dropping in from the northwest, likely reaching Indianapolis around 3 to 4 a.m. There will be a period of snow. Visibility is reduced. If you are traveling very, very early Saturday morning, that snow will be sweeping east-southeastbound. We'll pause this again at 8 o'clock in the morning. There's the band of snow. If you're traveling up 3169 or east on I-70 after 6 or 7 in the morning, you will run into reduced visibility and slippery roads. Then the snows move out to the east. The skies begin to brighten up. The temperatures start to warm, and we'll see 50-degree warmth surging into western Indiana. It'll take a little time for the entire area to warm up, but we will eventually get there with a southwesterly breeze and improving weather. Snowfall, likely to be a band of potentially 1, maybe 1.5 inches in some spots, but it'll be short-lived, and our weekend will start to turn around with more of that warmth and sunny weather. We'll talk showers and thunderstorms in the 7-day in just a few minutes.
All right, thanks a lot, Brian. Well, coming up on NewsPoint, a big thank you to a man who's given his life to protecting Hoosiers. We'll show you the emotional celebration for a local firefighter retiring after 43 years of service. Plus, a mother loses her baby weeks after he's born. I'll show you the inspiring way she's turning grief into action. And we'll take you inside Mass Ave's newest hotspot, the downtown parlor that promises brews and board games. All right, time for your news flash. A new intelligence assessment by the Department of Homeland Security casts doubt on the Trump administration's case for its travel ban. The report finds that most foreign-born violent extremists do not arrive in the United States already radicalized, but instead become radicalized after living in the U.S. for several years. Both as candidate and now as president, Trump often cites recent domestic terror attacks as rationale for his travel ban.
The vast majority of individuals convicted of terrorism and terrorism-related offenses since 9/11 came here from outside of our country.
It's been a month since the court system shot down the original travel ban. The White House says it's working on a revised version. And a Utah woman is turning a tragedy into a blessing. Nikura Thompson lost her son just weeks after he was born. Doctors told her the baby had several severe heart defects just 5 months into the pregnancy. So when he passed away just 6 weeks after birth, Thompson decided to donate her breast milk to babies in need. Since then, she's donated 4,000 ounces to a hospital in her community.
This is going to be a lifelong thing for me, and the only way I can go on is knowing I'm doing something good in his name.
Thompson says her goal is to donate 5,000 ounces of breast milk. Her family is very supportive. She has 3 other happy, healthy sons. And Natalie Portman just welcomed a brand new baby girl into the world. Portman and her husband Benjamin Milpier welcomed baby Amelia on February 22nd, but just announced the big news. That could be why the actress didn't show up at the Academy Awards 4 days later. This is the couple's second child. Portman and her husband met in 2010 while filming Black Swan. And new on NewsPoint, a Carmel firefighter retiring after 43 years of service. A retirement ceremony for Rick V was held at the department's headquarters today. Fox 59's Dan Spieler has his story.
Great, congratulations.
The smile on Rick V's face tells just one side of the story and what kind of man he really is. And the hugs among his friends give you a glimpse of the new chapter in his life that's just beginning.
Wouldn't change a thing if I could go back.
But to get to know more about Rick, we'll go back to when he was just a little boy with a big dream.
I wanted to be a firefighter since I was a kid.
Rick, though, not only achieved his childhood dream, he surpassed it, serving as a first responder for 43 years, 21 of those with Carmel Fire.
It's overwhelming is what it is.
Which is why everyone gathered at the department headquarters today.
It just meant a lot to say to him how thankful we are that he did what he did for us.
From Terry Kirby, who Rick helped out in the 80s by delivering her daughter born 10 weeks early, to the pastor Rick helped revive from sudden cardiac arrest in 2013.
Rick was the lead of that team. I mean, they were C team, but they were my A team that day.
The men and women he's worked with for so long, they're today as well to send Rick off at his retirement ceremony.
I don't need the credit for anything. That's my job. I came to do it, and I enjoy doing this job. I've never had a job more rewarding.
And as for his next adventure?
I'm a professional bass fisherman who has not yet reached his fullest potential. That's how I like to word it.
We know he'll succeed there, too. In Carmel, Dan Spieler, Fox 59 News.
New tonight on NewsPoint, a unique board game parlor just opened up over on Mass Ave, and it's got endless of fun for Hoosiers to enjoy. Kingmakers features a wall-to-wall library of board games designed to bring people together. You can hang out with a group of friends, enjoy draft beers, and explore the world of board games. Now, the library is made up of hundreds of new and classic games, so don't worry, you'll never get bored.
We always talk about the library and our board game sommeliers as being the crux and the core of the Kingmakers experience. So most of our energy is focused on making those two things really spectacular.
Kingmakers actually started out as a Kickstarter campaign. The owners have a location in Columbus, but decided to expand into the downtown area. You can find Kingmakers over on Mass Ave near College.
Well, don't be surprised to wake up to a coating of snow, some falling snow in the early morning hours, and what would look like a rather wintry day. The weather will improve. A warm front will pass. That chance for snow develops after 3 or 4 in the morning. Could get a quick coating, maybe further north and east. A little more snow will accumulate up to an inch in a few spots, but the skies are going to brighten up. The temperatures are going to warm up, and southerly breezes will eventually carry mild spring-like warmth back to central Indiana. Saturday is the transition day. Sunday we're into the 60s. Monday and Tuesday warmer, but the thunderstorm threat returns late Monday into Tuesday morning. Showers and thunderstorms early in the day on Tuesday as temperatures fall. Then a strong wind will be blowing Wednesday, and much colder air will return late in the week. We could have a turnover from rain to snow, possibly sticking next Friday. Stay tuned.
All right, thanks a lot, Brian. Well, now on to tomorrow's headlines and talking points. Get your resume out. Meijer is looking to hire 200 new employees for its new location over in Franklin. The hiring event will kick off tomorrow morning at 8 o'clock. You can also apply online. And the Columbus Police Department will brave the winter temperatures and take part in the Polar Plunge. It's all to help raise money for the Indiana Special Olympics. Cheer them on, starting off at 11 o'clock. And the Indiana State Museum is celebrating National Women's History Month. A new exhibit will honor the Hoosier women who helped push the endless boundaries in science. That exhibit opens up at 11. And Flashback Friday to 2015 when the world just lost it and couldn't agree on the color of this dress. Check it out. You remember this, gold or blue. People saw one or the other and it turned into one of the biggest debates on social media. So you're probably asking, what's the point? Well, 2017 now has its own color debate. This time, it's over strawberries. Check it out. Look at this picture. It's going viral on social media. What do you see? Well, of course, a plain plate of just old strawberries, right? Well, it turns out these strawberries are actually gray. And it turns out you're probably seeing red because your brain is trained to color correct objects into what you're used to seeing.
They look brown to me.
Brown, gray. I remember that dress. Everyone was going crazy over that.
Okay, the dress was white and gold, and if anybody says blue and black, you're just wrong.
Well, there you have it.
There's no debate.
There you have it.
Like, that's fake news if everybody's in it.
Fake news. There you have it. Blue, gold, black, whatever.
Hey, sports, sectional semifinal night across the state. Who's moving on to the finals tomorrow, and whose season's coming to an end? I'll have the answers in sports next.
Indy Sports Central is brought to you by Ortho Indy.
Tonight marked the final full Friday of prep basketball for the season. No time to shed a tear. We just had a full half-hour show recapping the action at 10:30. So here's the short version. 4A sectional semifinals at North Central. Panthers hosting Cathedral. There's NC's Chris Wilkes getting to work. Nice spin move in the lane to knock down the shot. Cathedral not going away quietly, thinking upset. James Franklin open on the wing and drains the triple. North Central just way too good at home. This is a beautiful sequence for the Panthers. First, Emmanuel Litter, the big block on one end. He starts the fast break the other way. Layup's no good, but look who's trailing. Little with the follow dunk. 81-58, North Central wins. They're moving on to the sectional championship. 3A at Rebuff. Crispus Attucks and Manual, two of the best teams in 3A, living up to the billing. Redskins are going to pick it up off the Tiger miss. In transition, Ethan Merriweather feeds the high-flying Cameron Sembley, who throws down. Attucks would respond. The sweet play of their own. That is a pretty Tayon Scanlon baseline reverse leg. Put the Tigers on top. Manuel trying to keep up. Corvassier McCauley, one of the best names in Central Indiana, with a beautiful driving dunk, but Attucks gets it done 65-53. Class 2A, Cloverdale and North Putnam. Cloverdale's Jake Wilkes with a three-pointer from the wing. No relation to Brian Wilkes, sitting to my right over here. Maybe. Who knows? Jalen Moore misses the three, but Seth Pfaff there for the putback. Of course, everyone who's a Butler fan knows the Cloverdale star is this young man, Cooper Neese, who's going to be a Bulldog next year. Beautiful drive and finish. He had 20 points. Cloverdale 61-51. 1A sectionals at University. Tinley against Indy Math and Science. Tigers had fireworks from the beginning. Eric Hunter is a 2018 grad. He's going to be a 2018 grad. First knocks down the three. Purdue likes this young man because he can do things like that, plus things like this. On the defensive end, gets the steal, taking it down, and get out of his way. Throwing down. That was pretty. 80-58, Tinley with the W. That is sports for this Friday night.
Some great talent there.
We had a good night.
Fun run.
Yeah, no doubt.
Wow, okay. Well, don't be too terribly surprised to wake up to some snow. A week ago it was 74. Today's high was the coldest in over 3 weeks, but it'll turn bright again by midday. In fact, by lunchtime, the skies will be brightening up, the temperatures will start rising, and when the weekend is over with, it'll feel like spring again. Some rain will arrive here on Monday.
Wow, we got some winter and then spring.
Couple seasons in one day.
Oh my goodness gracious. Well, have a great weekend, everyone.